Hey guys, Alley Entertainment.
Hi.
Hi, who's hi? Who are you?
Um, I am a Batman and Superman guy. Speaking of which, check out the Batman versus Superman trailer. Awesome trailer.
I haven't seen the trailer. Okay, we're gonna get into a topic today, but first things first is I found something for Blazy here and I had to
Aw.
give it to him. Is he...
A Batmobile! Yes! My very own Batmobile. And it's... Oh, sweet! You see, my giddiness on anything Batman related.
I know, but I didn't know a Batman mobile could be blue.
It's Batman.
I had to double check because I was like, it looks like Batman, but why is it blue? So I looked, and it said DC Comics, and then it also had the little Batmobile there. The things you can find. So now he has his very own Batmobile.
Yes, I do. Well, I do too. I have a Jeep, and that has the bat symbols on it. Why, thank you, Allie!
I just
Now let's go
found it.
back to arguing and
Wrestling.
yeah.
So if you guys don't know, he's pro, and I'm obviously con.
That proves it.
He went to an expo and he got to meet Trita.
Lita and Trish
That's so bad.
Lita and Trish Stratus.
And Mick Foley was there as well. But
I met him 6 months ago, so that wasn't as big of a thing to me, so I didn't bother meeting him.
So Blaze, tell me, why do you like wrestling?
There's a lot of reasons. I like the cheesiness. I like the acrobatics and the entertainment of the matches. I like cheap cheap storylines that are very corny and ridiculous, and I just like the overall show. Like, that's what I like about it. And the things that they do, man, holy crap, like this chick here, Lita, man, she does some moves that a lot of guys can't even do.
I actually listened to an interview about her, and she was saying back then she couldn't believe some of the crazy stuff that she did because she wasn't even thinking; she just did it.
Yeah.
So she was lucky that none of it ever ruined her health. Do you guys like my lollipop? I don't want
Power
to bite
Rangers
it.
suck.
I don't want to bite it. Look at him. Isn't he delicious? Okay. When I was growing up, my sister was a huge wrestling fan. That was when WWE and WWF or whatever, WCW, whatever the two of them were together, and she was a huge fan. And I remember after school, she ended up having to make me watch wrestling. So I, I will.
Awesome sister.
Yeah, awesome sister. So anyway, I watched a little bit of it, and I did have a few favorites. You guys, I don't really follow wrestling anymore, so
Boo!
I can't really remember what was in what. But I remember that there was a group. It was called Three Count, right? Three Count, Two Count.
3 count.
We like the Backstreet Boys.
Oh
Sing
god.
too.
So
Britney
in other
Spears
words,
was kinda cute. We watched TRL on MTV.
you watched the wrestlers that everyone forgot about and nobody cared about.
Yeah, 'cause they were just like skinny little things and they could never be beaten. But I guess they were friends with Tank. Is his name Tank? And every time somebody would pick on them, he would run out of the room and and start I don't know, screaming at the people. But I also love to watch Triple H and Stephanie McMahon.
I will admit that's okay. You lucked out with that.
Yeah, I mean, I know about a lot of the older wrestlers like The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin and stuff like that, but I don't know. I watched it and I enjoyed watching it with my sister, but honestly, if somebody it was on TV, I wouldn't switch to it. Like, I don't know, it's just like as
I
soon
would.
as my sister moved out, it was just like no more wrestling, and I was fine with that because I only liked it for the cute boys anyway.
At one point, I was planning on being a wrestler. That didn't last.
A short wrestler?
Rey Mysterio is the same height as me, and look at Trish. Trish, she's the same height as me. Come on. Ah!
It's a girl though.
So
She's taller than you.
Trish, she's in high heels, and that's not that much taller than me.
She's bending. You can see her butt there. She's bending.
Well, but she was in high heels.
I ate his head, you guys. Yeah, so my sister was a huge fan. She had all the collections of all these wrestling. She spent all of her paychecks on wrestling things. And when they went to Edmonton, she did go watch them. I don't know how much she paid, but she was like in the nosebleed section. So she couldn't even see anything anyway. She thought it was a waste of money. But my personal thoughts, I didn't know at first that wrestling was all staged. I thought it was real life, but it's all staged. It's all acting. None of it is real.
Hold
And
on. I have to stop you on that part because this is what it is. Yes, it's scripted. Yes, it's all that. But here's the thing. The pain that they go through is real. And just one screw up, and you can end your entire career and completely mess yourself up.
yeah, but the one thing that is stupid is you go and you're cheering for a person, but what does it matter because the winner is already chosen? It doesn't even matter. They already chose the window. So if you're cheering for The Rock against Stone Cold Steve Austin, what's the point of even cheering when his fate is already written on a little script saying that he was gonna lose or win?
But we don't know who. But here's the thing: we don't know who's gonna win.
I know, but I just wish that with wrestling, they would just let them duke it out and decide on who the winner is, like whoever's the better fighter, like UFC. So UFC, they have the two fight, and you don't know who's gonna win. They actually go at it. They don't have any planned wrestling.
But it's not just the whole wrestling thing; it's everything else. It's the mic skills. It's the everything. And the thing is, if you're not trained for if you're not trained for what they're doing, like it's not then if it's real fighting, like okay, this is a prime example. Lita was involved in an actual real life storyline, and it translated into they made a story. This is very well publicized. Lita was in a real relationship with Matt Hardy, right? And it was a 6-year relationship, and they lived together. And what happened was, is Lita, had an affair with Edge, who happens to be Matt Hardy's best friend. And it got out, and basically,
This wasn't scripted.
um, the situation wasn't scripted, but when it came to the actual, but then they made it into a storyline because it got out into the internet and people were very vocal about it. I'm not going to go into all the details because that would take forever to explain everything, but there was the hatred they had for each other was real, and when they tried to work together, they had to make it, they had to work so that they didn't actually go into a fist fight. And they had a match that was supposed to be scheduled to be a half-hour match, but because they were going hard at it and it actually broke out into a real fight, the match only lasted like 4 minutes because Matt Hardy got his head cut open and blood was gushing out, and he had to pass out, and they had to stop the match early. So that's something to think about. If you put it into real fighting, it's not going to last that long.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
But the thing is too, I mean, I'm not like, I like the acrobatics and stuff. Like I like guys like CM Punk who are technical. I like
I
guys
haven't
like
watched him. I heard of him only because Jason David Frank wants to wrestle him, or not
CM
wrestle, fight him in UFC.
CM Punk is awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I just honestly, for a wrestler, and they're getting scripted to lose their match each time. I don't know why. Why do they even bother doing it? if they're not gonna, win or get the belt or anything like that.
Well, it makes for great storytelling. I mean, come on, like when there's a lot of great stories out there. Like, I mean, what's a good one that I can think of off the top of my head? Because there's some pretty crappy ones too. So as many good ones there as there are, there's also crappy ones too. Um, okay, the Matt Hardy and Lita and Edge situation, prime example. I mean, your best friend, the girl that you're living with, been in a relationship with 6 years, and you want to marry her, and you're planning on asking her to marry you, cheats on you for your best friend. What and what is a better story to tell than that? I don't see much.
I do have. You're talking about relationship. I was always wondering between Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. Was their story together any bit staged?
Um, this is how that
Because
actually
aren't
happened.
they married in real life now?
Yeah, well, this is what actually happened, right? It was actually Vince's idea, or I can't remember whose idea it was, to have it where, Stephanie actually marries Triple H. And in storyline, it started out that they were not together. In storyline, they were married, but in real life, they weren't together. And then they realized that there actually was something there. And it surprised even the bosses, and they tried to cool it off for a while, but it didn't work. And lo and behold, they actually got married. So that was a prime example of something that evolved from a storyline.
No, but didn't they have another storyline where somebody else was going after Triple H?
Yeah,
And who was that?
Kurt Angle.
None. I meant another girl.
Oh,
Kurt Angle has a crush on Triple
oh
H.
no, I meant
I
like
thought Trish. I thought Trish and Stephanie hate each other because there was this big rivalry between Triple H.
no. This is what Trish was only involved in a small segment of it. She was more or less, it was more or less Stephanie was going after Vince, after her because she was Trish because Vince was having an affair with his wife with Trish
Um,
in story.
I thought they hated each other because Triple H. Oh, the drama, you guys. Oh, the drama.
It makes it all interesting, but there's more than just the relationship stuff, right? I mean,
You know what's interesting about this whole talk is this chocolate popsicle. Way better than wrestling.
okay, here's another story. Here's another one that actually makes for good storytelling, right? Um, Stone Cold Steve Austin. This was when The Rock was in his prime and Stone Cold was in his prime.
No, The Rock is still in his prime. That's the only
Yeah.
good thing that came out of wrestling is The Rock.
Anyways, Stone Cold was the number one guy in wrestling. Rock was considered number two. And Stone Cold had to be out with a serious injury to his neck, and he was gone for a year. And basically, Rock was given the ball, and he ran with it, and he became the number one guy while Stone Cold was gone. So Stone Cold came back, right? And how they wrote him off in storyline is they did a thing where Triple H conspired with Rikishi to run over Stone Cold, and Stone Cold, first beat the crap out of both of them, and then he got himself into a Royal Rumble and got a title shot at WrestleMania, and Rock won the title and was champion. So it was basically the story of the guy who was number one coming back to go back on top versus the guy that took over when he was gone. So it was an interesting story.
Adam, wrestling is all stage. And actually, when I was in Calgary, I listened to an interview from Mick Foley. He was telling everybody that the wrestlers need to put on more clothes. That they shouldn't be out in little spandexy stuff. I don't know. I think it's hot seeing those guys in those little tiny outfits. Don't you?
I like seeing the girls in those tiny outfits.
I don't know. It's still wrestling. I just find that I don't know. Just honestly, it's not the same as UFC, but they do more flips and everything and all that stuff here. But it's just kind of like
It's more cartoony.
I was gonna say it's a lot of guy on guy action.
Mm,
I don't know. I'm just not a fan. I just can't get into it. The only reason I watched it again was because of my sister. I don't know. I just find it fake. I like I don't know, real life stuff. If it was not so scripted and they had these people coming in like UFC and they had the fights and they had the fact that nobody knew who was gonna win, not even nobody. Then I think it would make it more entertaining. I guess.
well, at the same time, I mean, us as the audience, we don't know what. Although it's becoming more predictable because wrestling really
Is it ever gonna go off the air?
nope. I don't. Well, there's some people that say it will, and some people that say it won't. I don't really think it
How
will.
long has it been on the air for?
A long time.
So I did have my little fascination with wrestling for like a year, and then it was like gone. Other than that, I can honestly, I can care less. I think it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It absolutely sucks.
Oh, you suck.
But you know what? Triple H is sexy, and if he ever
He's
comes
bald.
I don't care if he ever comes to a Comic-Con, I'll meet him.
I don't think he's ever gonna come to Expo because well, he might.
You never know. And next week, a guest appearance from Edmonton Expo. First guest, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H.
Mm.
Actually, I used to call him Triple X all the time.
That would be interesting if Triple H goes. I would so go just to meet. I would so go to meet him.
You are going.
Yeah, well, I would go to meet him, but yeah.
Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, he's pretty gorgeous. He's pretty gorgeous for a bald guy, isn't he?
I have an autograph of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I actually got it from my mom and dad for Christmas.
Did they meet him or just one of those?
They ordered it online.
Cool, awesome. So, we're kind of ranting on here for a little bit, as you guys can tell, he's not as heated as he was for Power Rangers. He just gets very aggressive when it comes to something he doesn't like, and me, I'm more calmer. But I guess we'll have to wait and see for our next little rant. Maybe Batman? Who knows, you guys? If you guys have anything you want us to talk about?
How about this? You talk about things in the. Give us suggestions down below as to what we can talk about.
That's what I was gonna say. If you guys have any suggestions, you guys are awfully quiet, so I want people to chat. Leave comments.
I'll give you a few things that I like that she doesn't care for. Superhero DC Comics. She doesn't like that.
There, I like Marvel. We can do
I'm
a
more.
DC versus Marvel.
I actually. That should be our next one.
No, I know, but we can't do DC versus Marvel. As much as I love Marvel, I don't know enough about Marvel. And the thing is, he doesn't hate Marvel. He likes Marvel. So I'm gonna gotta find something that we hate and he likes.
Yeah. And vice versa.
So, guys, give us some comments. Alright, we will see you guys on the flip side.